as we have been publicizing the session, we've told you that today we have an amazing speaker, someone who's going to talk to us about our food systems. So you're all participants in the Health Prize Challenge, and you're all expecting to, by the end of these sessions, by the time we get to the pitching before the judges, you're all expected to be having an idea that is solving a business idea that is solving a problem in our food systems. So you've all mentioned that some of you don't know where the problems are, you don't know how our food systems work. So today we've brought you someone who can definitely enlighten you in all matters food systems and sustainable agriculture, sustainable agribusiness, and how us as the youth can actually go into agribusiness and make and create really good enterprises that have the capacity to have a really big impact in our communities and even in the entire country. So I will give her the chance to introduce herself and talk a little bit about herself, because I usually say that, as usual, I can't do anyone justice. So Eunice, welcome. And we are really, really, really excited to have you here today. And we hope that, by the end of it all, we will have both come out of this session with, us with mentorship and you with I suppose that feeling of knowing that you've actually changed people's lives, because you will have changed our lives by the end of this session. So yeah, welcome and talk a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very, very much, Sylvia. Hi, everyone. Hi, I hope you're doing well, that you're keeping safe, and that you have no worries. And if there are worries in your life, that you have kept them under control by God's grace. I'm a Christian. I'm going to request you, Sylvia, to please start for us with a word of prayer, if you don't mind.
Okay. So let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we come before your presence today, saying thank you for bringing us together, people who are like-minded, and we all want the same thing. So we thank you that we've been able to find one another, and today we believe that at the end of this session, we shall be able to get the knowledge, the tools, the information that we need to change our lives and to change the world. And we believe that everything that we learn, we will use it all to the glory and honor of your name. So thank you for bringing us together, and all the glory and honor shall be unto you at the end of this session. Amen.
Yes, amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Sylvia. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eunice Mbeneka Mutwa. I am the Managing Director of Select Fresh Produce Kenya Limited. This is an agribusiness trading company based out of Kenya. Looking forward to branch into other countries by the help of God. So we are an export company. Our value chains are fruits and grains. Fruits representing mango, pineapple, passion fruit, avocado, and also not a fruit, but root, sweet potato, orange flesh sweet potato, and then also the grains, all manner of grains, and some oil seeds. Oil seeds are like njugu karanga, macadamia, cashew nuts, etc., sesame seeds, things like that. Okay, so it's really an honor to be able to speak to all of you. Thank you for this opportunity, Sylvia and team. One of my passions in life is to mentor young people like yourselves. Why? Because I believe that you are able to reduce the learning curve by mentorship. When you are mentored, you are able to access knowledge that will help you sort of shorten the learning or the experience curve. and that would position you in a better place. And this is my desire for all young people across the world that would embrace the culture of mentorship, whether it is character-wise, whether it is in business, in our giftings, in every area of our lives. And so today we are faced with several matters at hand. You guys are, participating in the health prize. I understand, and congratulations to all of you. And also in advance, I believe all of you will be able to make it and get a prize out of it and be able to contribute to the food system solutions. So I'm going to take a very, what should I call it, interactive approach. Why? Because I believe that we can learn together. And so I'm going to be asking us from time to time to be able to sort of, respond to maybe a question or what you think about a certain thing. So let's begin. So I'm going to start us off with a story, a case study rather, a case study that happened in 2016. I was part of a delegation that went to a country to investigate the food system there. And this country is Ireland. And their agriculture strategy is called Foodwise. Back then, it was called Foodwise 2025. Please note the 2025. And when we got there in 2016, we learned that they were revising their agriculture strategy backwards in terms of achieving everything that they needed to achieve in that strategy. So they had already achieved 80% of their strategic objectives, and therefore they were revising it to come back to Foodwise 2020. I've never seen a country do backward revision. We have our own vision in our country, Vision 2030. We all know we are, tukombali kidogo from achieving it. We have, I wish to congratulate the government, public sector, private sector, NGOs for, contributing towards achieving all these metrics, but we still have a long way to go. I know we are looking at SDGs, the 7 of them, no poverty, no hunger. Let me see if I can remember them. 1 second. But anyway, you guys know the 7 that we are addressing today. So, and strategic partnerships being one of the very key ones. So no poverty, no hunger, sustainable production and consumption. So many. The rest, you'll have to just type in the box. Please, somebody type in the chat box those SDGs. But yes. So when we went, it was a government trip. It was a government private sector trip to Ireland. And what happened is we went to every part of the value chain in the Irish sector. And I'm talking about universities. We went to Cork University. We went to manufacturing companies. We went to farmers. We went to agronomists. We went to research institutions. We went to everyone in the value chain. And guess what? One of the things that we discovered was literally everybody. We met farmers that were 25 years old, others were 20 years. They were running such big farms. And we were so surprised. Some of them were generational farms. And we were so surprised. How is it that these people are doing so well like this? And so at the end of the trip, we went with, by then, the PS for Trade and industrialization, PS Kipto. We went with Ken Invest, MD. We were the advisor to Deputy President on food security. We went with a delegation from the Office of the President. We had KEPSA. We had such an intense delegation. And so by the end of the trip, one of the things that we discovered is, guess what? Everybody, including the farmers, understood agriculture strategy, and therefore they understood their part in the agriculture strategy, and therefore they did their part. And even the farmers who are 20 years old, when we looked at the strategic document, they knew it by heart. They knew it by heart. They were practicing what their obligation was. So, I mean, this is just a preamble to help us understand when a food system works, everybody does what they're supposed to do, then you are able to even achieve your strategic objectives as a person, as a country, as a continent faster. And even, bring them back as they did. They had Foodwise 2025. They brought it back by 5 years. This is the year they are achieving their agriculture strategy. This is a country that has a population less than 5 million. 80% of their food goes into supplying the entire Europe. You can learn a lot from this country. So let's jump into the food system matters. And I'm going to help us start with definitions. I'm going to request somebody, please give us the definition of systems. What is a system? I would like for us to be interactive so that it's not boring. You can unmute your mic and just speak.
So guys, you've heard her.
Yeah.
Let's interact. You can also type on the chat.
Yes, feel free. No pressure, guys. Yeah. Thank you guys for posting all those SDGs. Yeah. There's someone who needs to mute their mic. They have a background noise. Okay, and I hope at the end of this sort of interaction, all of us would have figured out which part of the value chain they can be part of. And is anyone telling us what a system is? Okay, someone else can check sustainability.
Okay.
Sylvia?
Yes, I'd like to try systems.
Okay, good.
I think it's a set of processes that together have the cumulative effect of giving the desired output. So maybe how can I give? Okay, let me give an example of cooking ugali. So that's a system, for instance. Yeah. So there is, for instance, there is the inputs. For instance, can say something like there's water, there's fire, there's sufuria, then the immediate okay, maybe the how do I put it? Maybe let's say the process, kuna process ya maji kuchemka, and then after that, the mixing of the flour, and like the whole, all those set of many processes that in the end give you the ugali you want to eat.
Wonderful, very good example. And if you don't follow those processes, you can end up with a very badly cooked ugali that cannot be eaten. And if it is not well done, it can lead to problems with your stomach. So I really love that. Let me go ahead and just give other definitions. So like you have said, Sylvia, it's a system, it's a set of connected things. This is according to Cambridge. It's a set of connected things or devices that operate together. And then it's a particular method of counting, of measuring, or weighing things. A set of connected items of devices or people to operate together. So one of the roles that I play in is I founded, by God's grace, I founded a network called Africa Sustainable Agribusiness Agro-Processing Network. It was actually founded together with a team when we presented to the president in 2018, and actually was made to represent agri-SMEs in the presidential roundtable. Since then, the group, we started with 30 people, now we're over 200 people. We have PS Hamadi Boga of Agribusiness in our platform. So we have public sector, we have private sector, we have NGOs, we have students, we have universities. Strathmore University is part of us. We have Breakwat, we have all manner of sector players. The reason why I believe in food system working, and the reason why I've made sure that the people that we bring on board are all people that will make it work, is after the experience we had in Ireland, I realized that if all of us are on the same page, policy makers included, we are able to sort of hasten, speed up the process of correcting the food system together. And so, so we've come together as ecosystem players, and trade is happening amongst us. Policy documents are being written, because together we are actually seeing the things that are affecting the sector, and we are able to contribute to reduce the challenges in the food system. So the second definition is sustain. Sustainability, as we seek to look at sustainability, what does that mean? It means to cause or to allow something to continue for a period of time. That is to sustain. Cause or to allow something to continue for a period of time. Keep alive. And then an example is soil in this part of the world is some places it is rich, others it's not rich. But for an example, if the soil is not rich enough, it will not sustain a large population because you can only produce so much from a certain kind of soil. Sustainability definition by Cambridge means able to continue over a period of time. So this system or set of activities that we are engaging in the food system should be able to continue over a period of time. A system is not sustainable if it does not continue to deliver over a period of time. And of course, causing little or no damage to the environment, and therefore able to continue for a long time. So those are our definitions, so I'm going to now give us a definition of food systems by our very own FAO, and this is what we describe as a sustainable food system. It is a food system that encompasses the entire range of actors, the actors that I've told you are part of our network. And their interlinked value-adding activities involved in the production. So anybody who's thinking about the halt price, you can be in any part of these ecosystems, in the production, in the aggregation, in the processing, in the distribution, in consumption, and in disposal of food products that originate from agriculture, forestry, or fisheries, and part of the broader economical, societal, and natural environments in which they are embedded. So basically, a sustainable food system is one that encompasses the entire range of actors, number one. So it has to encompass the entire range of actors. It could be a technology that brings on board all players like the one we have. It could be that you've decided to be part of the production part. You've decided to aggregate, bring together produce from farmers in your region or a region, bring it to the market. That's still one part of the food system. It could be that you've decided to start processing mangoes now that we're in the mango season. You started to process jam and fruit juice and sell it in your university or environs. It could be that you've decided to do distribution, and in terms of logistics, when do unapepea watu avocado kutoka, whether Bomet or Murang'a or Makueni, you're bringing it to the market. Or you're part of the consumption, like hotels, you're cooking the food and you're cooking it right to ensure that the nutrition is still, in the food. Or you're part of the disposal of the food products. We've seen a lot of countries abroad now, when they talk about disposing of products, what they are doing, they have a place for plastics, have a place for bottles and other things. I've seen Strathmore University has been able to sort of have a green system. Well, that's what we call it, a green system, where the environment, they make sure that they dispose of food products in a way that conserves the environment. So that's the definition of food system. And that the food system in Kenya has really grown, and in Africa generally has really grown. And we have more players. For a long time, for a really, really long time, we had players only in food production. We had other players in manufacturing, but we really didn't have a lot of attention in other parts of the system. So the subsystems. So it's good to have the youth thinking about which part of the system they can join in, so that they can be part of the solution. And of course, youth have the ability to implement things, faster. You have a lot of data now to inform your decisions. There's a lot of funding going around. You're not starting at a disadvantaged point. You're starting at a point where a lot of people are willing to finance the system and anybody who is offering solutions. So please, guys, I know you're taking this health price thing seriously. So very, very happy to know that. So this is the system in any country. I don't want to bore you guys with a lot of theory. I'm just going to go into examples and my experience. So let me see if there's any other definition that I need to encompass so that I can. So of course, any system that is going to solve the food challenges in Kenya has to address the issue of food security and food nutrition. Food security looks at the fact that everybody has to have access to food, and not just food, but also nutrition. What's the point of eating, like vegetables, sukuma wiki, and hakuna nutrition behind it? What is the point of eating that fruit, that nini vegetable? So it must solve nutritional needs as well, so that at the end of the day we don't have people getting sick. We have all heard that food is medicine. So that's why any food system must also address that challenge. So we have several. I'm going to give us our particular case scenario in Kenya, so that you also know where to come in. So let me just come back to the video. So having been in this sector for a long time, since 2014, and before I came into agribusiness, I was working for PricewaterhouseCoopers. So PwC, we do a lot of evaluating of sectors, and I saw there was a lot of work that had not been done in the agriculture sector in PwC Kenya. Other PwC countries have done a lot of work, but I had not seen a lot of work in agribusiness. At least right now, there's a lot of good work PwC is doing. And but anyway, my first degree was in finance and banking. My second degree was in strategic management from Daystar. And my thesis looked at 25 export companies. So I was able to investigate all these export companies and see what exactly they were doing. And out of this, investigation, I was able to see that it was good for me to go into the agribusiness sector and actually the export sector. So it helped me, reduce my sort of make a fast decision to enter the sector. So we've been there since 2013, 7 years now. So one of the experiences, out of a lot of experiences I've had in Kenya, I've been involved in B2Bs. This is business to business trade fairs organized in many countries, in Ethiopia, in South Africa, in Europe, in so many countries. And one of the things when you interact with a lot of people in the sector, people who trade, is you will quickly realize, like this particular time we went to, was it Tanzania? Yes, we went to Tanzania, and we had, USAID was organizing the largest B2B for the grain sector. And every country had their role there. Kenya, it was, to be honest with you, we were quite embarrassed because, well, every country there was actually selling their produce. Well, I would say 70% of the countries were selling their produce. Kenya was busy buying. So we are a net importer of grains. We import 80% of our wheat. Is it from Canada? We import our beans from Uganda, from Tanzania. We import our green grams. Right now, and I thank God for our PS Hamadi Boga, just recently, I think they signed a bill to allow people in Kenya to do production in large parcels of land so that we can produce more. So you see, the thing is, the reason why we are a net importer is because our cost of production is very high compared to Uganda and Tanzania and some other countries. So the fast food system challenge is right there. The fact that our production is not able to sustain the demand. So the supply and demand in Kenya is, is a bit, what should I say, ni kama kuna imbalance kidogo. While we are still working on production, yeah, thank you for joining me on the video. Don't want to be alone. While we are still working on production in our own country, guys, it's very important to understand that Kenya across the world is known for manufacturing value added. Even though we have imported a lot of products, our grain from many other countries, but we are the number one country that does value addition. So even when we import the green grams, we do value addition, we pack them into very attractive packages, then we send them back out into Uganda and Tanzania, and they're consuming our products, and Ethiopia and the rest of Africa. We buy sunflower from Uganda, we buy sunflower from, even in Kenya we do production, then Bidco sends it back out there as oil, sunflower oil. Tanzania is doing better in terms of value addition, I think this year compared to many years, but the thing is, that's the fast food system challenge. So if we can have as many young people, say, even come together and approach the PS Hamadi and say, as students, we have decided we want to go into production. We know we have access to market. And of course, you talk to us and talk to other people for market access. And then you tell them, we have decided we want to go into production. And who knows, you will probably be, allowed to have a parcel of land by government, and you do that. So of course, the other part of the food system is aggregation. You can also decide, you guys, you can decide on a product. In Apple, you can decide on grains, whatever product. you say we are going to go and aggregate from this particular region. Once we get this funding that we are going to get, when we do our, when you do your idea or your concept notes, then you bring that money together and you say we are going to actually go and aggregate something, a product, supply to an exporter, or even supply to many countries. There's so many countries. There's so many opportunities that have opened up. Thank you, Janice, for joining me on the screen. Yeah, but anyway, so we've seen value addition. There's a lot of companies that are giving, when you get the prize money, you can get like a dryer. You can dry your pineapples, you can dry your vegetables, you can dry, and sell them as dried produce. And, it's fetching 6 times the price. A kilo of mangoes is going for 60 bob. Wait, a kilo, 50, 60 bob. And then a kilo of dried produce is going for how much? Some people are buying at 600 bob. Yeah, so of course there's the cost of doing the value addition and all these things, but you can enter that value chain as well. You can go digital. You can decide you're the one who's giving people the platform to actually have these conversations like we have in our own platform there. And they can help you build a platform, So you can decide to go media-wise, the one creating the agribusiness stories in your university or in your class or in, in the farm, in the country, in Africa. You can start a YouTube channel about that, That's a grand idea as well. You can go into arts and do paintings, agribusiness paintings. They're very calming. They're very, very calming when you see a picture of a flower or a picture of a man or a woman in the farm or a picture. Of course, you have to be more creative and things like that. So food system challenges are around the cost. And anybody who goes into bringing an idea that will reduce the cost of doing something will actually address the system challenges. And so, so the food system cannot operate in isolation. You can't say that I'm going to be an aggregator or a producer, and then I'm going to solve the food system. You have to work with everybody else in the food system. All these people that we are talking about. So any idea that brings together partnership, will be a winning idea any day. So that's food systems for you. So other than that, whatever idea will also make sure that people get nutritional value, and of course at the low income people, water basically. Think about it. You can come up with a product, seme kama venye watu wanauzanga simsim, ama kama mtu anauza dried mango, and then you package it in packets ndogo ndogo. Kids, whether it is kids, low income guys or middle income guys or high income guys, anybody can afford it. It can be packed in affordable packages. You would be solving food system challenges, because guess what? You're getting this food, to the person that is supposed to get it at an affordable price. They will also get nutrition. So so basically food system challenges are here with us, and we have to work together as university. You can also decide that my portion in this food system challenge solutions is I'm going to do research, and I'm going to give thought leadership to the sector. And you start doing your research, partnering with the right people, and then bringing out your ideas. Some of us are gifted writers, others are gifted photographers, others are gifted, in doing trade. So all of us have a part in all this. And so, just allow me to just touch on one last thing before I open this question. Some people are gifted in policy. You can continue and study policy, and policy is what drives the actions behind the food system and SMEs. So the food wheel itself. So when you look at the food wheel, I wish I could just project it. Let me see if I can project. Let me see if I can. Maybe you can allow me to. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. You're so swift. So, can we see the screen?
Not yet.
Oh my, why is it refusing? It's saying there's an error. There's an, yeah. Screen sharing has failed to start. Please try again later. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah, it has really failed. Maybe what I can quickly do is, I don't know. I can quickly.
Is it something that you can share later, so that maybe for now we open the session to questions?
Yeah, I can share it later, but just some conclusionary remarks on this. Yeah, is the world is looking for people who will use food as a vehicle for change, and so anybody who is going to, let me just stop screen sharing here, yeah, because it's not working. So anybody who is going to be part of those people, whether you're solving environmental issues, social issues, and economic issues, things that touch on money, they touch on the environment. Our soils have been depleted, and we continue producing. Eventually, have you seen circumstances where people are actually producing, produce mahindi in one area, and it gives you like 10 bags. In another area, it gives you 45 bags. Can you imagine why? Because of the soil type, soil issues. So that's also another area. Environmental sustainability is also another area that we can go into. But at the end of the day, the solutions that we have, we must address social issues, they must address economic issues, and they must address economic issues. So I'm just going to open this up for us to discuss and to ask questions. If you have any question whatsoever, please go ahead and ask it, and then we shall attempt to answer you.
Yes, guys, remember, it's all about the asking. It doesn't matter, even if it's just a simple question, just ask. You never know what kind of insights that Eunice here will be able to share with you.
Yes.
So let me start it off, actually. I have a few questions. So first of all, thank you. That was some really great insights on our food systems. You've given us some really good ideas. So personally, this is something that's it's close to me, because this is something I genuinely want to do. This is I really want to pursue this, going into agribusiness. So you are on the presidential roundtable representing agri-SMEs in Kenya. And so you've also mentioned that the government, there's a lot of people willing to finance these systems, and anyone willing to innovate. Like there are a lot of systems in place for people like us who just want to start and just go ahead. And then you've also mentioned that you can just approach these people. So can you talk to us a little bit about the specific people that we can approach for help? Say, like, let me give you an example. Say I want to go into horticulture, and just like you, by the way, maybe import and export. So
Yeah.
where do I start? Who do I approach for help with such? And of course, I want to do it on a large scale, such that in as much as it is giving people jobs, it's giving me a job. I can also, the income from it is something good. So how do I do that? That it doesn't start as small. I can just start. I don't have to start small. Maybe I can start at a good level and actually make something out of it. So how do I start?
Okay, so very good question. Thanks for asking, Sylvia. How did I start? Let's see. So I started with my family. I gave them after doing my research in my thesis, I gave them an idea, and they were like, cool, because I didn't have the money at that point to start. So they were like, I even gave them the numbers, from the research. And they said, wonderful, let's go into this. And we did our first shipment to Dubai. But before that, as a family, we were already supplying exporters with French beans and chilies. And so I think it really helped. It really helped to learn first, to supply others, then to actually do it yourself. To be honest with you, if you have to be careful who you engage, and that's why I like to do mentorship. And we have an agribusiness school. It's called the Africa Sustainable Agribusiness School, and we do a lot of training for young people on the step-by-step of how to start an agribusiness venture. And the vision, the idea stage, just building the whole what is it called, capacity building you, even training you on how to think strategically. And we normally have some workshops. So I call them proposal writing workshops, because when you come with your idea, we're able to thoroughly thrash it and be able to help you understand, okay, so as an investor, this is what investors are looking to if they invest in this money. This is what they're looking to get, like the NPVs, net present values, IRRs, so that it's just a sustainable business, for any investor, whether it's a bank, whether it is an NGO that is investing in you, whether it's the government. I was just talking to someone before this meeting that was telling me the government, KIEP, Kenya Industry Industrial Entrepreneurship Program, I think, KIEP, they have just come up with programs to support different level of SMEs, startups. For guys who experience, they're even being given up to 15 million, by the government, 70% grant, 30% your own income or your time. So there are very many organizations that are supporting. GIZ is a big one. USAID is a big one. They do a lot of support for of course, you have to be aligned to their programs, and some of their programs are around horticulture and orange flesh sweet potato. So yeah, I think it depends, but I do believe in joining an association that is relevant to where you're going. And once you gain the association, then you are able to learn even from other people, from their postings, from their questions. Like our platform, we normally have people post opportunities, people posting questions, so people are learning together. So there's nobody who is, perfect in this thing. So we're still all learning together. So I would say, guys, if you can come with a WhatsApp group that is geared towards sharing ideas and these kinds of opportunities, I mean, I wouldn't mind being part of it, sort of help you even understand what you need to do at what point. So you start with getting funding from your family, or from, there are companies that give you money based on sales. So you first sell, then they give you a certain percentage. It's called invoice discounting. There are companies that give you against orders that you have. Yeah, so that's the thing. So that's the thing. I would say, if you definitely want a one-on-one, I would love to give it to you, or we can just organize like another day where I can just teach you guys and expose to you all these different companies after engaging them together. And yeah, then that can happen. But yes, there's a government program. There's a lot of government programs in the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Industrialization. If you actually come together and form like a adequate agribusiness association, something, then you can be able to approach them and tell them, these are our ideas. I've seen KCB, I've seen Equity giving funding to students, the youth. So these are other, you can check them out. The Equity Foundation, you can check the KCB Foundation. They are doing this. And then if you know anybody who has a large parcel of land, there's another company on our platform, normally help you even come up with the entire farm to fork process. They put the right system, aquaponics, and then you now work together on the production and then sell together, and then they get a certain share and things like that. So there's a lot of ideas on how you can get started. But the most important part for me, I like to make sure that your head is in the game. Like you've decided that agribusiness is your, is your thing, and therefore you come, we train you on how to survive, because like any other journey and process, you're going to have to learn a lot, and some learnings are not easy. But when you have like a coach, you can learn faster. You can learn faster. You can avoid some pitfalls. Like the very first time we exported ourselves, we almost got conned. We almost got conned because this particular importer told us, your mangoes have arrived there rotten. And we were like, what? Thank God we had someone who could send us actual pictures of our own mangoes. So these are some of the things that can save you from having huge losses. I've seen people get into the sector and actually get out immediately because of the losses that they've incurred. So I think it requires a mentorship process, an ongoing mentorship process, and a very clear path. So this is where you want to go, therefore this is what you need to do. So yeah, thanks for that question. I'm happy to engage separately. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know whether I've addressed your question.
Yes, you have, and I will definitely engage you further, Eunice.
Yeah.
So you can expect that. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's a question on the chat from Mary Faith. She's asking how one can join the platforms that share these opportunities.
That's a very good question. So currently it's a WhatsApp group. We are transitioning into an online platform, and I would love to send the link for the online platform instead of the WhatsApp group, so that you don't feel like you're green. So I would love for you to receive the online platform link instead. So if you can give us a few, like a month, I will be able to send you the platform link. And then you can continue growing with everybody else. I prefer it that way because you see, not everybody is in the same place. So as much as I'm very understanding and I want everybody to learn, not everybody is like that. So I would love for you to be in a space where you feel motivated, encouraged, and I'm trying to create such a space for people in your, your age gap, and with all kinds of questions, so that someone doesn't feel like, because like we have people who are already doing like maybe 50M sales, and so some of them are not mentors. they don't get, so they'll be like, huh, what kind of question, what's happening there, so allow me to just send you the link, and I will share it through Sylvia. I'll share the link. Maybe give me 1 month. I will have created a space for you guys to learn, and I will be sharing all sorts of opportunities for you there, because my hands are, in the sector, so I know what's happening for the youth. Yeah.
Yeah, that will definitely be awesome, because yes, personally, I will feel can I say I will feel scared to maybe, if you're in the same group with someone who's doing 50M, who has a 50M business, I am basically starting, that would, yeah, so we shall wait for that. And
Okay.
yeah, we will be able to join the platform when it comes up.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Sure.
There's another question. Costin is asking, is the industry saturated in terms of food value addition companies, in your opinion?
No, the industry is not saturated. And in fact, Kenyans in Africa are known to be one of the most innovative countries. And I love that you guys are at university. I don't know how many of you are doing like agribusiness related courses, but you have the advantage of having a food scientist, in the universities, to just, if you have a lecturer or, as somebody who is a food scientist, you can actually sit down with them and start exploring ideas around mango, around fruits, around, we have our current numbers in Africa for post-harvest losses. This is the losses that we incur every season. Like for example, right now we're in mango season. Imagine there's going to be a lot of wastage because either the product has not gotten to the market in time, or they just don't have the logistics to get their product to the market. So 50% is the losses that we're incurring in Africa. So you can imagine just getting these mangoes and drying them, or getting what is it called? Just getting bananas, drying, making juices, and I'm talking juices that can be bottled, So I think it's not saturated, guys. It's really, honestly, very virgin. It's still very virgin. And we are needing guys like you who are at school, who can do thorough research, and come up with very unique products. I've seen people making uji, like ready-to-eat products, like flours, ukiongeza maji na kwa uji, So you can just think about, when you think value addition, think about the things, because of the fast-paced economy that we are in right now, everybody's really wanting to save time. Just think about those things that can be ready to eat. We've become such a popcorn economy as the world. So we want things that value-added products that can help us save time. Our company is also venturing into value addition of sweet potato. So our company, one of our buyers has asked us in the UK supply them with sweet potato fries. Can you imagine? Chopped fries and sweet potato flour for pancakes. Countries like Sweden, are very big on value-added products. They are very big on this. I've seen some people doing sweets from fruits, purely fruits. So there is great room, and the whole world, everybody wants to have. So if you can convert like an agricultural product into something that can be used, I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about things like even fish scales can make leather. And dairy. You can do yogurts. You can do cheese. You can do What else can be done from dairy products? You can do, what else? Skimmed milk, butter. There's so much. You can just actually choose a product and then do a lot of research on it. Watch as many YouTube videos on it. Watch as, do a lot of research from, the right places, and then now come up with a product. I don't know whether your school, you guys, you have a food scientist who can help you with that. You?
I cannot speak with authority on that, but we do have, because there's a course in KU for food science and nutrition. So there are students taking that course. So there has to be lecturers, there has to be an entire department on that. So yeah, there's somewhere we can go and consult for any advice you may need on such.
Yeah, and then when you get to the point of now doing real work, like going into production, QD can help you produce. In fact, we normally charge people 10K to thoroughly research your idea and to actually put it to the market. 10K for the entire learning process. So QD is one of those organizations, and for funding, there is also Kenya Industrial Estate. It's a government institution. They get you, give you money to get machinery. They do require, what is it called? An asset, they give you money against an asset. But there's the Chamber of Commerce, there's Equity, there's the International Trade Center, who we are working with closely. They are giving young people interest-free loans. In fact, one of the things I'm going to do, request you, is if you can come up with a list of people and what they want to do, I can forward, I can organize for a meeting for us with the International Trade Center, and see how you can access this interest-free loan.
Yeah.
Interest-free, yeah.
That is amazing. We can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, you've had that. So be ready. If you want to do something, there's something that can be done about your idea. So be ready with it.
Yeah.
So there's the next question from Sylvia Ngare. From what you've said, is it that the export market is more vibrant and profitable than the local market? And for the local market, what opportunities are there?
I like that question very much. I've only talked about export because it's what I really did a lot of research on. But most companies go local first before they go international. Usually that's the best path for any business. You first understand the local tastes and preferences and needs, and then you go global because they are more diverse, and harder to accomplish unless there's a specific niche. So I would say the opportunities are both local and international and regional. And yes, for example, we buy avocado from the farm, moja shilingi kumi. In Nairobi, how much is an avocado? How much do you buy?
I'd say 20, 30 shillings or even more. Yeah.
Yeah, 30, 40. I've seen people buying for 30 and 40. So depending, of course, on the size. So imagine if you can buy that product at 10 bob and, unaongeza maybe 5 bob ya logistics. You get the product here and you sell the avocado here, even for mangoes, even domas. There's a lady in my neighborhood, she sells 1 piece of doma at 100 bob. Yet there are people in a village somewhere, they don't even know where to access that market. So actually the challenge that I always say is that there's a challenge for people who are in production to access the market. So if you can become that bridge, so you go, like for example, there's a time we tried to sell soya here in Nairobi. And most companies were buying it, including Bidco, were buying it for 55 bob a kilo. And there's a company in Meru was buying it at 80 bob. You see, and they didn't know Nairobi price is 55. You see, so I guess if you can close those market gaps, there's definitely a lot of opportunities locally to sell products, and you can become an aggregator. You don't have to be the final person. You can just become the place where many people come and collect and go and sell. You know, you can become the wholesaler. You can start as the retailer. You can go into the wholesaler. You know, you can go up the value chain, reducing the number of people that are between you and the farmer. You know, but I always advocate to make sure that the farmer gets profit. Sifinyilie mkulima, wakulima wasifinyiliwe. Yeah, so so those are some of the opportunities that I would say, you know, and even training. Training is an opportunity. If you have an interest in training people to do agribusiness, it's also an area that you can learn and also make money from. So I hope I've answered you. Is there another question?
Yes, there is, from MD Agape. So what are the gaps in empowering our small-scale farmers to be at the forefront of revolutionizing the food system, our food systems?
Yeah, wonderful question, MD Agape. Lovely. So the gaps in empowering our small-scale farmers. So the gaps are around extension. Extension services in Kenya need to come back. I think it's been so many years since we had our government officers positioned next to our farmers. Back then, agriculture was doing very well because we had watoto wanasaidia, you know, the farmers in terms of agronomy work. Agronomists are the people who tell the farmers, you know, your crop lacks this nutrient, or if you apply this fertilizer or organic fertilizer, your crop will become healthier, you know, or this is the disease. So small scale farmers don't have access to this opportunity to have people who are working with them. If we actually have agronomists, and there was a project that we were supposed to start that was going to address that issue for 50,000 farmers in Africa, and we had already positioned agronomists ready to go and actually act on that project. I hope it will manifest. I hope that project actually happens because it's a big solution to many farmers. The fact that you can have an agronomist come to your farm 2 times in a month or 2 times in a week, or you know, every week, at least every week, kuna mtu anakuja kwa shamba yako kuangalia, kukuambia umefika hapa, you need to do this to get here, you know. So I think small scale farmers need extension services more than ever. And of course, access to affordable inputs, you know. And what else? Inputs is a thing, agronomy is a thing. The other thing that small scale producers, of course, access to market is a thing for them. If they all knew, for example, one of the things when we presented to the president, one of the solutions we presented was having common processing zones. If we had like a place where, for example, Tarakaniti is good for Ndengu, and we see that there's a common processing zone, even Kitui, common processing zone there, then every farmer would actually go into production. Why? Because they can see, I can take my product to these processors, you know, here. And even for whatever, you know, I know in Western, I mean, there's a lot of products, whether it's any part of this country, literally, you know. So if we had a common processor, common processing zone next to the farmers, that would actually encourage a lot of farmers to go into production. And yeah, so I think that's one of the solutions. So agronomy, market, affordable inputs, and just mechanization. Mechanization can help reduce a lot of costs. I've seen it in several counties where the government is leasing tractors and things that do mowing and things like that. Yeah, so mechanization, those are some of the things that can help the small scale farmers address the food system challenge and go to the next level of farming or agribusiness. And of course, I would say knowledge. Knowledge, a lot of people don't have knowledge. Like I gave the example of Ireland. To be honest, we don't take our agriculture strategy in the country serious, because how many of us can confidently say we've read the strategic document and are aligning to it? So we don't have people, the way we have SDGs being announced all over the world, we don't have people who are advocating for a local agriculture strategy in the universities, in everywhere where it matters, so that we can all come and align, behind that strategy and do our part. So I think information is another thing. The small scale farmers don't have the adequate information about so many things. Right now I hear there's a government project for giving free fertilizer. I don't know whether all the farmers know that, So information is one of the things that can become a solution for small-scale farmers, so that they can also address food system challenges. Is there another thing? Of course, working capital. And this particular project I'm talking about was going to actually advance these small-scale farmers' money so that they can take care of their crops and, cushion themselves as a family. So when we get patient finance for small-scale farmers, that goes a long way in helping them, get ready to address the food security challenges and food system challenges. So yeah, funding as well. What's the other thing? So we talked about money, information, mechanization. We've talked about, and of course, innovation. We don't have motivating. I always say one day, if God allows me and others, you to do it, I will have a place where libraries, agribusiness libraries, so where people can always think agribusiness the entire year, and and see where they can come together with other players to implement. Because I always say, whatever you give focus, eventually you become a master of it, and eventually you come up, ideas start popping. God makes sure you start having ideas popping in your mind about, oh, now because I know this, I can go and address that challenge there. So we need agribusiness libraries. We need places where people can come together to interact about innovations in agribusiness. It's a whole agribusiness green village, needs to happen for us to align properly. And the strategic documents are online. You can look at them in the Ministry of Agriculture. Online. They even have a whole strategy and process around doing value addition for flowers, doma flowers, banana flowers, all these things. They're even encouraging in the Ministry of Agriculture. So the other question?
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, MD Agape. Thank you for that. That was a lot of ideas about how we can empower small scale farmers. So the next question is from Josephine. Are there financial support operations in the agricultural sector that supply beginners with small portions of land for small scale farmers?
No, and I will link you to these guys. What's this gentleman's name? There's an organization that is even have like a TV, a whole, I think they're in a university. Let me just confirm. There's a gentleman called Deveni, Jonathan Deveni. He works for Miramar International College.
Okay.
They support young people to start agribusiness ventures. They encourage you guys to even go to your own farm. If you have like a good chunk of land, they help you set up a greenhouse, and they help you even access market. So I can link you guys to Jonathan. I don't think he minds me giving his number, but
Yeah.
let me ask him. Yeah, let me ask him. I will ask him and share the number with you, Josephine, once he agrees. But yeah, they are doing exactly what you've asked, Josephine. Yeah. And
Awesome. Yeah.
but there are so many places where you can also lease land in Kenya. Ngoliba is one of them. We have on your way to Tanzania border kunaitwaje? What is it called? Sides of Imali, Kajiado. There's so many places where guys are leasing land. Loitoktok, so many places where guys can come together and listen. But I always encourage, don't go it alone. The very first years of learning, you need people to handhold you, because I think everybody I've had talk about their first years went into a loss. So it's better to be mentored. And I think these guys, like Jonathan, Deveni, they can help cushion you in terms of starting. You don't have to go through those losses. I hope at least not to the extent that many people go through because of lack of information. But thank God there's now information. Yeah. Yeah, so is there another question?
Yes, there is. The next question is from Mary Faith. First of all, she says she's overwhelmed by everything you've said in terms of everything is so awesome. You've given us it's a mutual feeling, Faith. So we are all really happy for all the insights that you've shared. And then her question is,
my pleasure.
Yeah. The question is, how can you bridge the farmer and the consumers without necessarily being that middleman that terrorizes our farmers?
Oh, that's Faith, I like your question. The reason why I like it is because that's what everyone is trying to address. But we have also come to the realization that it's very important for all of us to a food system is only sustainable if it has all the right actors. And like you've seen, we have the farmers, we have the aggregators, and we have the guys who do value addition, and we have the final consumers, and of course all other people in between there. And I think I'm gonna send you, Sylvia, that food system chart.
Okay.
So that you can see all the players. That's what I was trying to show. Yeah, but anyway, Mira. But the thing is, there's nothing wrong with middlemen. We've actually come to that realization. To be honest with you, that farmer who has no clue where the market is, and there is somebody who has a clue. Why not this person who has a clue? A small margin, yeah, so that they can get the farmer's product to the market. They deserve it. They do. I saw when I went to South Africa in is it last year, but one, I saw something there, and we went to the food market there, and the food market was a whole yard, yani, so many kilometers wide. So many kilometers wide. It had cold storage, and all the necessary things that help people be able to make sure that the food, nini chakula hayozi, the food does not go to waste. And one of the things that I realized is that the farmers in the country were all supplying this particular market, and when they supply, 80% of the revenues, I'm talking all supermarkets are going to this yard to buy produce, and it was in such good quality and standard. I was like, wow, Kenya tutafika level lini, and what I liked, imagine, is the fact that the farmer was getting 80%, 80% of the revenue. And then 5% was going to the owner of that entire, enterprise, yeah? And then 10% was going to managing the entire enterprise. So me, I believe everybody can make something. Everybody can make something and make the food system work. Wacha farmer atengeneze pesa yake, wacha aggregator ama nini middleman atengeneze pesa yake. The only challenge that we have is middlemen make so much money compared to farmers. That's the only challenge that is there. If they could give the farmer is the one who's carrying the financial load, the production load, au ndio wameaffectiwa na climate change. We are seeing, kinyesha, sijui crops zimeharibika. It's the farmer who's taking this, weight. Therefore, if we give the farmer the respect that they deserve, cash-wise, everybody else, they can make their money. Make sure that at least 60% or 70% goes to the farmer. So I think when farmers chanuka because of these common processing zones that we've already seen the government implementing, I think middlemen will be reduced, but also anybody who wants to offer real value to the farmer would actually be coming to say, I am a logistics person, nipatie share yangu, I am going to transport or rather I am going to take your product and sell it at this much, yangu ndio hii. Transparency even in, how people are sharing money in this value chain. I think if we can become people who look out for one another in this value chain, I think the system will work. Yeah, because we can't work in isolation. It has to be with partnerships. And guess what? Actually, my thesis in my master's was the impact of strategic alliances on small scale farmers and enterprises. So, when you get people coming together, strategic alliances coming together, aligning, make sure that the system works. Then at the end of the day, it does work and everybody gets their share. Yeah, that's what I think. What do you think, Faith? Has that answered you?
Yes, it has. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. So just related to what you've talked about, Gloria is asking whether you recall the name of the South African market.
The South African market, it's called the food, it's called the food market. It's called the, what is it called? Farmers market. Farmers
market.
Yeah,
Gloria?
I'm sure. Yes.
Okay. I hope she's got that. So there's the next question is from Maximilian, who's asking, what are some of the predicaments that affect the food systems in Kenya as of now?
Yeah, some of the things that are affecting us is this lack of coordination. Policies, nothing can happen without a policy. Policy is actually law. And so I thank God for the Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Industry leaders, industrialization leaders, CS Betty, CS Munya, and all the PSs that are working in this sector to make sure that the right policies are now going into place. Because once a policy has been done, therefore, if it does not happen, if it is not implemented, it becomes illegal for anybody to operate outside of that policy. So usually the first thing is policies, and at least that is ongoing. It is being solved. The other thing is the fact that there's no coordination. Thank God we are trying through all these different platforms, and I believe in associations and the need for people to come together, because the more groups that we have, the easier it is to approach people. If you have one group that has 1,000 people and another group has 200 or 10, we'll be able to reach one another. So we need to come together in associations as a country, in agribusiness, be able to sort of speak one language, like we saw in Ireland. So the other predicament that our food systems have is our storage. We have not managed, we lose too much. We lose too much of our produce, like we've discussed, 50% in Kenya and in Africa. 50% is too much for anybody to lose. You know, it's like half of what is produced in the country. That's not fair at all. There are people who are going hungry in the country. There are people who can't even afford to eat a meal in the country. So this contributes to the entire cost of food, you know, and makes food very expensive. But if we are able to come up with systems, cold storage systems, even near the farms, that can be able to preserve food, this would go in a long way in making sure that we are food secure as a country. Food is reaching everybody at a low cost. The thing about food system is making sure that the costs are as low as possible and the systems are as efficient as possible. So food gets to people when they need it, you know, and how they need it, the quality, the nutrition. You know, there's no point of getting me a mango that is rotten. There is honestly no point in that. So when I get the mango early in the season, it's fresh, it still has all the nutrients. You know, that's a good thing. That's a good food system. So what's the other predicament? So apart from storage, thank God for the warehouse receipt system the government is implementing now. In collaboration with private sector. Warehouse receipt system is a system that will allow for us to be able, a lot of warehouses and private companies to be able to store produce in their warehouses, and everybody who supplies to that warehouse, every farmer who supplies, they can be given based on the warehouse receipt system, the receipt that they have will receive. That receipt will be like money, and you can actually take it to the bank and actually get an advance payment. So I think that that's something that's you know, going to help us to become more liquid as a food system. So the other thing is, yes, getting liquid. We are not as liquid in Kenya and across Africa. We need to become more liquid in the food system. Money for working capital is supposed to become so accessible for the players in the industry. Make sure that the system is working. You know, there's no clog in the system. When harvest has happened, there's people to go and buy harvest, you know, and there's people to transport it to the market, and there's people to go and do value addition and package it into this packs that we see in the supermarket. And then there's people who can be able to go and buy the food and actually consume it. And there's people who can actually make the recipes and make the, you know, the food in the best way possible to preserve nutrients, you know. Here tunasema siku hizi githeri si githeri, you know. There's a way to make githeri, you know, or whatever food. Thank you, Maximilian, for your question. Very, very good question. I hope I've attempted to answer. I'm sure there are more predicaments that we are facing as a country. But I think partnerships is what is going to make us work. Partnerships between private sector, public sector, NGOs, universities, everybody in the value chain. If we are working together, think about what we saw in Ireland, and think about the fact that the universities are at the forefront of doing research of the tastes and preferences, for example, of Kenyans. Then you go into the labs and come up together with the research institutions like Caro, come up with seed varieties or food varieties that are to the taste and liking of Kenyans. You would have more people demanding that product, you know. And then once it is produced, then it's a whole demand cycle, you know. So universities can play a bigger role, and students can play a bigger role in influencing the food systems in Kenya by designing or being innovative to come up with products that are the taste palette of Kenyans. When we went to India for a trade fair, people tasted the ndengu from every country, and guess what? They tasted the Kenyan ndengu and they said, we love the taste of this Kenyan ndengu. The taste. you that there's a taste to ndengu, you know, and to maize and to everything. So we can, universities, you guys are in the best place possible to be innovative and to take charge of the food system and actually say it is no longer from the farm to fork, it is from the lab to fork. You guys representing the lab. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Okay. I hope that answered your question, Maximilian. That it was it's a really it's a really extensive question answer, and we thank you for that. So Sylvia, the other Sylvia, is asking what is the practicability of setting up an agribusiness that also offers extension services to farmers, or some form of extension service, perhaps in terms of cost. She's asking the practicability in terms of cost. And on this, you can perhaps elaborate about the extension service projects that you talked about that has agronomists.
Sylvia, good question. And wow, this is such a good question. Well, setting up an agribusiness company takes a lot of things, you know, soil testing, all the way to putting the right structures on the farm, the right seeds and inputs, you know, fertilizers, organic fertilizers, and accessing the right market at the right time, packaging your product in a very attractive way. So setting up an agribusiness organization, I mean, the first thing, you know, you have to do is to register a company. That's around 10K in Kenya. You can do it overnight. Have a business license, you know, operating license, depending on your location, different rates, around 25K. Then you have, you know, your office rent. If you don't have to rent, the better. Then if you can start from home or online, the better. Then you have your employees who are going to address the core, you know, strategic points of your organization. Then, of course, marketing is very important. The website, your business card, you know, your social media footprint. You've put in place your social media footprint, you know, and of course, getting your product to the customers, you know. So it depends on what product that you're working with, but I don't think it is less than, well, it depends, because there was a time I sold Mtumba. I sold Mtumba and I started with 3K. And yeah, I had a shop in Kileleshwa. So it depends. It depends. So it depends on the level of unataka kuanzia wapi na do you have the cash, and can you get the cash from your, you know, circles, or from your crowd, or from your vicinity. And yeah, so it depends. For other people, it can be 3K to go and buy, like there's a lady from Meru who has been asking me to buy her mangoes, 2,000 pieces at 30K, each 15 bob. So it could be that one, you know, 30K, and then you come and sell it for your mangoes for 25 bob or 30 bob, and make another 30K. So it depends. You can invest 100K to get another 100K, or to get 30K. It really does depend on which part of the value chain, you know, that you want to be in. But as much as possible, if you can reduce your costs, the higher your profit. If you can forgo renting your premises, you know, like kama you have a good space at home, you can use that space. Yeah, these are not the days of everyone's trying to look like they're in a big office, or I mean, it's a good thing when you have an office, a big office and things like that. But if you can do virtual, you have access to so many people, so many people across the globe. So your social media footprint is what will also help you, get your sales. So about extension services to farmers, an agribusiness that also offers extension services to farmers. I believe in coming together, like our project, we were supposed to have one agronomist visit 10 farmers, 10 farmers in 3 days, yeah. So you can make sure that the area which you're farming, you have other farmers who agree to your idea of getting extension services, agronomists. And if you can agree, if the farmer or the agronomist will charge you 10,000, say for a trip, and if you can get like maybe 5 farmers or even 10 farmers be visited, 1 hour every farmer. Imagine reducing that cost to a G every time he visits to 1,000 bob. So I think the thing is about economies of scale, making sure, because if you're alone, if you're the only farmer, I don't know whether you can pay an agronomist 10K every week. It will be very expensive. Yeah. So if you can come together with other farmers in your area, convince them. And that's why I also said I advocate for organized groups, similar people who are thinking the same thing in the same area. And yeah, so that's the thing. So those are the costs that goes into a business. And in terms of course, even the extension service, and the project was going to address this in a big way, and the farmer was going to get advanced a loan, and that loan would be able to pay the agronomist as well. So yeah, so it was affordable. It was going to be very affordable because like I said, one agronomist was going to cater to so many people. Yeah, so Sylvia, I hope I've answered you.
Yeah, I hope so as well. I feel like we've made you talk for too long, Eunice, but I am hoping that you're not yet too tired. By the way, thank you for
No,
all you
I'm
do.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question from MD Agape, who is asking, in Kenya, we have seen an evolution of the food culture from the time of our grandparents till now. And over time, people prefer the eye candy, sweet foods or of little to no nutritional value, and they're involved in industries that are making really big money. So what would you suggest to be the most effective way to inform the consumer in making better food choices? Is there any insight you can offer to that?
Yeah, nice. Good question, Agape. So what would I suggest to be the most effective way to inform the consumer in making better food choices? I think there's nothing that
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you. I think we lost her or something.
Yeah, we may have lost her for a bit. So let's give her a few moments. I feel like this session has been really good. What do you guys think?
I think it has very enlightening. Like we're getting a lot of insights from it. Yeah, priceless. I don't think I've ever had such things anywhere else. So it is awesome.
Yeah, me too. I don't think anyone has ever sat with, like since we started basically, I don't think there's anyone who's sat with us and given us as much insight as we've gotten today. They've all helped, obviously. They've all really given us a lot of good advice, but yeah, it's been really good insights today. Yeah, even Josephine, you're saying it's really awesome. It absolutely is, by the way. And so you guys, as you heard, she's for if you're serious about what you want to do, by the way, if you're serious about the business, the idea that you have, she's willing to help. So we can definitely reach out to her. I can definitely reach out to her. So you can reach out to me, and then maybe we can form like a group for us serious people.
I'm in, Sylvia. I'm in.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
I'm also in. I'm also in.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, tuko wengi.
Yeah.
Sawa sawa. Then we'll do that.
Sylvia, I think maybe you can share your number there so that those who want to be in the, let me call it, the inner circle of people can like send their numbers there or something of the sort to make it
Yes.
to aggregate us.
Okay, so my WhatsApp number is, let me just type it out. Sylvia. That is my WhatsApp number. You can save it and reach out to me. Also, I'm the one who usually sends all those messages on your WhatsApp groups, kama mnazionanga. So yeah, you can also if you can also reach out to me through that. And I'm also sure I've reached out to a few of you. Definitely. Nimewa inbox. So yeah. Huh. While we're waiting, guys, is there anyone who can tell us like the experience they've had of Health Prize so far? What do they think about it? Is there anyone willing to talk about that? Anyone?
Yeah, Sylvia, I'm here.
Okay, Faith, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Today in the morning, I managed to go through the YouTube platforms of the former Halt Prize winners and the kind of competition there was. And gosh, you can realize that there's really, really a lot that requires to be done. And especially on this 2021 challenge,
Yeah.
the challenge is really, really specific on food systems and the impact they require. I was seeing walikuwa nataka like something that can meet the 7 SDG goals, all of them, you see. And then
Yeah.
you'd really realize also that those guys who won the previous ones,
Mm-hmm.
they are people who had already startups, so they were like just seeking for funds to kuongeza to like their startup, you see.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like say someone like myself who has nil and I'm like starting up and I'm looking for stuff to do, you know.
Yeah.
But those
Yeah.
already have done something, because unaona the data wanatoa, they're like, we have impacted this number of people. Then I'm like, yo, sasa hata mimi nitaanzia wapi? Where are these people, you know?
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it.
So there's that challenge also. But it's good, really. It's really awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So what I think about that is we can say we have a bit of time, by the way, because from the on-campus program, the regionals will be next year probably in April, and then the global finals come after that, so probably April, May June there. So before you get to the regionals, I believe that you may have some time to at least develop idea, but I get where you're coming from, that because actually even I can say that I'm also at the very beginning. We're all there where we're all just starting, so no one has like this data that you can say, my project or my idea has been able to help this number of people. But remember what we were told by, was it Yvonne, who was telling us that all you have to do is just start. I feel like actually it's not just Yvonne. I feel like I've had that a few times in these sessions. So all you have to do is just start, even if it's just something small, something that you can test. You just need it's called the minimum viable product. So you just start with that. and Eunice is back, so we can continue that conversation on the groups. So hi Eunice.
Sorry guys, my electricity just went. My Wi-Fi
Oh.
just dropped. Yeah.
We're sorry about that.
Yes. Sorry about that. Let me. So what was the question again?
You were answering a question by, I think it was by MD Agape. So the question on making better food choices. So how what will you suggest to be the most effective way to inform the consumer in making better food choices that have nutritional value?
So I would say that there's a lot of messaging that needs to happen, and even as a group, now that you have had this session, I think out of the researches that you guys are going to do, you can start a social media page to just educate people on food choices. Managu, just make it very interesting, very local content, kind of Kenyan thing, messaging. But I think social media is one of the ways. Number two, all the products that we have, somebody can highlight all the advantages, of these products and just keep posting them. I think consistency, gets the messages. Someone said that if you send an email to somebody once, you might easily ignore it. But if you send it 3.5 times, that person will, by all means, get back to you. I'm talking about like maybe people who are, very easy or very busy or something. Not, but generally any media, social media messaging to any consumer or any media content consumer. If you send it 3.5 times, they will get it. So there needs to be consistent messaging that goes around this particular campaign toward making better food choices, and people coming out to have discussions like this and compare food nutritional value. Unasema ya managu ni hii, ya kales ni hii, ya chips ni hii, ya ugali ni hii. Real conversations. So I think we can do a better job with media, but also what else? We can start at home. We can become an example to our family and an example to our friends, and start saying, me, I started doing. I do lemon tea. I find it healthier.
Yeah.
Actually having lemon tea. But anyway, yeah, so I think the messaging and the practicality of it, of you doing it yourself, because you can only tell me what you're doing. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Hey, awesome. Agape, I hope that answers your question. Vizuri. That was a great question, and it was a great answer. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
So Josephine is saying so many great insights. Your explanations are very comprehensive and to the point, and she thanks you very much for that.
Thank you, Josephine.
Yeah, and then Gloria is asking whether it's possible to get the report on your findings from observing the food systems in Ireland.
Let me see. That's a good question. I mean, that's a good one. Let me see. Let me see. There is a lady. Okay, sawa. Let me get back to you on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Sawa.
Thank you.
Okay. And then Faith is also asking, she's asking, concerning food quality, besides KEBS, what other measures are there here in Kenya, and what opportunities are available in this line, more or less?
Oh, I love that. Food quality, food safety, food quality. The thing about quality is it's driven by different standards. In Kenya, there's one that we are trying to implement. It's called the KS 1758. standard. So you can go online and read more about the standard. There's a lot of opportunities. Once you grasp it, you can train it all over the country, you know, to as many people who can listen to you and can pay for the training. And then in SGS is another organization. So you have KEBS, you have SGS. There are so many, by the way. Veritas, there's Global Gap. Global Gap, the one of the things I'm going to encourage us is to go to International Trade Center. Just Google International Trade Center and Google voluntary standards, and you're going to be able to see a myriad of standards and what exactly that standard represents. And literally from farm to fork, how you treat your employees, to how you handle the product at the farm, to how you handle it on logistics, to how you do value addition, to how, you know, even the consumer, how they're handling the packaging. So standards, food quality, food is a big area, to be honest with you, and it, you know, encompasses how we handle food right from the farm to the fork. And it's an area that is really being funded right now by a lot of organizations because of the level of you know, unsafe food that we are consuming in the world. And that's why you realize that Kenya for some time had been banned from sending, you know, mangoes into Europe. But this year, the ban was lifted because we have now complied to the standards, food quality standards. Of course, it takes to a food quality manager in every organization to help you, you know, investigate this. But yeah, there's a lot of information on food quality and food quality standards. Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities. I've seen some of my colleagues in the industry, they train and they charge a lot of money. I'm talking up to 500,000. Yeah, so implement those systems in an organization. That's how much they charge. Farm, warehouse, they charge that much, 300 to 500,000 Kenya shillings. A lot of money, and you can have like a good percent of it, maybe 10% of, you know, 50%, just helping people prepare for audit of their farm systems, of their warehouse systems, you know, even Marikiti, you know, you never know, you can get funding to help them prepare for an audit. So there's a lot of opportunities in that as well. Next question.
Yeah, that was a really good answer. So I believe that we have no other questions.
Okay.
From here on out, it's just everyone saying thank you, and even more thank yous, because it has been a really
welcome.
it has been a really good session. Yeah. So
You're welcome. I thank God for all of you. I just encourage you to get involved. I know we are, how many are we? We are 14 now. We started, is it on 20? But anyway, 20 or 19, yeah. So I was just going to ask all of us here, what area of the food system you feel convicted to be part of, and why? And even after today's discussion, which one are you feeling like this one I can be passionate about, and I can do more research on it, and I can partner with the right experts, and they can help me go to my next level. If possible, can I have like a few people just share the inspiration?
definitely, we can start off with Sylvia, the other Sylvia.
Okay, wonderful.
Well, I didn't expect to be picked first, but here we go.
Okay.
So initially, actually, I'm in my 5th year. So initially we had to do projects. So like, and I felt that agriculture, food way is the way to go. So initially, my area, I was really interested in the post-harvest losses, and but then maybe when it came to, you know, we needed to do the project within a year. So what I needed to do could not be done in a year, so it changed. But yeah, the issue of post-harvest losses and the numbers, the much we were losing was, oh, it's terrible. Like I was days we lose so much to aflatoxins, then maybe things that
Yeah.
documented, like things like let me say maybe cabbages, for instance. Okay, near Githurai and nyanyas, like they're just the road, just like, and then maybe these are the ones you're seeing in the market. What of the ones in the farm? Like
Yeah, exactly.
um so I was, the losses part was really disturbing. So I the point, but again you mentioned it and I then remembered, yeah, that was an area that had really, I really felt like there's something that needs to be done. But then I switched well due to maybe the time issues, and I went into rice farming. Okay, not something to do with rice, the project I was now. So, and I realized that we actually import 85% of our rice.
Imagine,
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah.
And then at the same time as we're importing the 85%, we're using so much water, yet there are
Yeah.
other technologies that can do, like we can do up to 30% water savings. And from some research
Yeah.
in JQuat, like for that 30% of water that has been saved, we can actually get we can farm, I don't know, 3,857 hectares more. That will give us 54,000 tons more production. So it means getting so much more produce, although we'll not still, it will just be a tiny dot on the imports, but it's still something. 54,000
Yeah.
tons is a lot. So
Yeah.
and there's still the same system, the new technology still had like lower inputs, they used so much less seeds, and you could,
Yeah.
yeah, and we get a lot more yield because, like, instead of, due to the water savings, you're not flooding the farms throughout, so we get better roots, there's better production of rice. So that was the area I was in. And like when I asked the question about extension services, I was thinking about, since this new system, it's called the SRI, System of Rice Intensification. And I was thinking about a device for helping the farmers with the irrigation, watered the whole field throughout. But now they need to, like, it's more critical, like you need to water 2 days to a certain height, and then you leave it for 8 days, and it may be difficult for farmers who didn't have to look at these things previously. And for the
Yeah.
services, I was thinking about not all farmers have adopted SRI, not all of them know about SRI. So like as we are providing this to farmers, we can also maybe teach them on better practices, because some of them do it halfway, some of them just practice some of the practices and not all of them. So when I
Yeah.
was thinking about extension, I was also thinking like us also helping the farmers to like better adopt it and adapt it to their farms, and yeah, something of the sort. So for now I was at rice, but again I feel like losses is something I'll be going back to at some point.
Wow, wonderful, very, very wonderful, very good inspirations. I think both are amazing topics or areas. Um, yeah, anything to solve the food system issue, production, encourage more production. That's amazing to save, to reduce the food losses. It's amazing. So I wish you all the best, my dear Sylvia, and as you get everything that you need to take this to the next level, this of course could become a business that will thrive forever. So yeah, you're doing very, very well at it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And so
Yeah.
I think we can have someone, Faith, Mary Faith. I believe you are also working on something.
Of course.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, okay. So, for me, initially, I had the idea of bridging the gap between the farmer and the consumer, because I am a farmer and I have suffered a lot with these guys middlemen. So I was thinking of coming up with a platform where just an online platform when the farmer meets the buyer and the
Mm,
buyer meets the
mm,
producer. You see such kind of a thing. And then I organize for the logistics, like I cater for everything, transporting this produce from the farmer to the consumer. The consumer can be an individual or it can be a factory for processing these foods,
wow.
so that I become that better middle person who can at least who can share. I mean, I will not take so much from the farmer in a way that now the farmer can earn more and the guys who are buying from me can buy at a cheaper, affordable price. But
Mm,
I thought again that taking this into the market to try like the plot test would require so much capital, and it would be so difficult for me to do such a test within this short period of time. So I
mm,
changed and now went into this idea on quality assurance. That's why I actually asked about that, where
mm.
instead of this being set in the factories, why can't we take this quality assurance measures into the homes of people? So you come up with something that people can use to test the quality of the foods they are taking in their homes. They can be able to
Mm,
know what kind of say they're taking managu, how much vitamins are they getting from that? If they're taking say meat, how much fat content are they getting from that into their bodies, and how much is really the standard, the required standard. So that's what I'm
brilliant.
still thinking about, because I felt that was a little more practicable in terms of getting this prototype. Yes, so that's what I am doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful, my dear. Wonderful. Very, very proud of you because I think the first idea you said, I know Trigger have implemented such a system. We were also thinking about doing it now that we have a whole network. And I mean, it's a brilliant idea. If you can do that, well done. That would be amazing. Even this other one for quality assurance. I mean, if it can come in the form of a gadget that can be sold to families, to people, mama mbogas, everyone who's handling food. Imagine, you can just test right there whether that product is nutritious, whether it has all these dangerous things, mycotoxins, all these things that are not good for the body, things that are not healthy. So I think it's a brilliant idea. I hope you get to implement. I would suggest you just go with the second one, but depending on your passion and everything, just go for the weather, whichever you wish. But they're both amazing ideas. I think you will excel excellently. Yeah.
Thank you
Mm.
Yeah,
so much.
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So, is there anyone else who feels like talking about what they're doing? I will not choose anyone. So someone can raise their hand, Sasa.
Yeah. Mm.
One last person. Yes, sawa. Me can talk about myself, by the way. I'm also
Nice.
yeah. Okay. I'm also an engineer, like my fellow Sylvia. So
Mm.
what I decided to do, actually, I feel like I'm doing more or less the same. We're both trying to solve the problem of irrigation, but where she's focusing on
Uh,
rice, I'm
uh,
focusing on everything else, more or less. So
okay.
yeah, my idea is to create a smart irrigation system for farmers that
Mm-hmm.
can definitely regulate the amount of water that farmers can use, and to make a device affordable for, especially for the Kenyan market, because this is Kenya, and I'm sure that large scale farmers have such devices, that
Yeah.
they already have such systems in place. But what about the small scale farmers? What about the middle scale?
Mm,
So
yeah.
they don't have affordable and easy to use ways of regulating the amount of water that they use, especially in this arid and semi-arid areas, so that they can be able to save on
Wow.
some of the water that they usually use, and maybe for the entire year they have a regular amount of water for their own use. So yeah, that is what I'm trying to work on. and also a bit of smart farming, more or less, more everything about smart farming. So smart aquaponics, smart hydroponics, and also everything to do with smart farming. That's more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So proud of you. So proud of you. I think right now the world is facing what we call climate change. And what your solution is speaking into is climate, change adaptation measures or solution. And that would be very welcome. It's a very highly funded area as well. And it's an area that, I mean, like right now, the rains came late. We are just getting, a little bit here and there of rain, yeah? It's already, we are late, so if a farmer was hoping to produce based on the rains, kuna mahali amechelewa, unaona? So if we can come up with that system and, come up with a way to harvest the rain and then be able to have that system operational, I think that would really assist. I've seen one of our colleagues in the industry have 11,000 hectares, and they're doing 100% conservation agriculture. This actually means they don't rely on rain. I mean, sorry, they rely 100% on rain-fed agriculture. They don't do irrigation, as in how I irrigate na nini na maji ama dams. Imagine 11,000 hectares.
How?
Yeah, so we're actually organizing a class on training people how to do that. So I think your solution is very good. It's timely in this time of ours. I think what I'd like to just encourage all of you is that you're not too young to make a lot of money. You're not too young to implement a solution that will storm the world. You're not too young. You are right in the right place. And the world needs more solutions, from everybody, especially you, so that you can grow with the solution, you can continue engaging, you can continue innovating from whatever you've already innovated. And yeah, so a lot of people start innovating very late. Very late. And by the time they're 40 or 50, they're like, nimezeeka nini. Hakuna age yenye iko too old ama too young. Yeah. So what I encourage you is make sure you bundle together with the right people, the people who are thinking like you or thinking above you. But whatever you do, make sure you step out in confidence. There's a lot of data information everywhere across the world, in the internet, in sites. I've realized the difference between me and you is probably my exposure. But exposure can be gotten as fast as possible via, via, what is it called? Watch those YouTube channels, like just focus, like focus on the right things. Hizi vitu zingine zinasumbuanga my youth, mwachane nazo. You focus, and I can assure you guys that in the next 2 or 3 years or 4 years, you would have started something that the rest of the world will be like, maze Kenyans, maze, how I say, hey, these guys. But I realize it can only come with focus and bundling with the right people. So the way you are right now, the 14 or the 20 of you, or I don't know how many others, are in absentia or are going to watch this, from whatever country, I'm just going to request you, bundle up with the right people, be open-minded, support one another, support somebody as if that is your own project, and then once you support one another, have accountability. Accountability means you're doing this project in this timeline, you need the following finances, and you're approaching so and so, give you these finances, and then this is the implementation plan. Just that level of seriousness to see things through is gonna make make you guys wonder. Me, I'm a Christian, and the Bible says that we are a wonder. You have to become a miracle and a sign and a wonder to the world, because that's what God created us to be. So just make sure that you don't waste any more time. If you have wasted any time, all of us wasted time when we were young. So let's not waste time. Of course, have a work life balance, school work life balance. Don't much of everything is not good. Have some rest time. Make sure you're managing your time very, very well. And I pray that God will bless all of you, and expand your territories and make your mind, innovative, and come up with solutions that are going to help our food systems in Africa and in the world. And thank you very much for having this very inspirational talk. Thank you, Sylvia, and your team. I would love to be part of whatever you guys are doing. If there is, anything that you're doing on the side, I'd love to be part of it. I love inspiring young people. So this is actually a blessing to me. And so, yeah, so let's continue working together. Let the conversations begin now that we started talking. I think, Sylvia, the person who recommended you I had done it in Nairobi University as well. So may I just love mentoring young people. So let's keep at this, get the right mentors, get the right mentorship. And age is just a number. Age is a number. You can do what I'm doing 10 times better. Just get learning.
Yes.
You have to actually exceed what we have done, because your generation, you have access to technology and information than we had. So you go on and go on. Don't let anybody discourage you. I don't care what circumstances are in your life. Just get on the right path and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. That's my parting shot.
Yeah, amen. Absolutely. So guys asking how they'd love to reach you. Actually, what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to just we're going to bundle ourselves together into a group where maybe we can be able to reach out to you. And also if maybe they personally want to reach out to you, how can they do that? Do I share your email for Select Fresh?
Yes, and the Gmail as well.
Okay, I will do that. So guys, I will share her emails on the WhatsApp group after I create it. So as I told you, we are definitely going to reach out to you again, Eunice. Yeah,
you're welcome. And let's keep talking.
Kabisa. Yeah. So
and when is this HALT prize happening?
The competition, the semifinals are in late November, the final week of November, and then the finals will be in early December, the first week of December. Yeah.
Okay. Sylvia, I see that you're a leader, so please, as many people are here, please, encouragement. Make sure you reach out to everybody. Make sure everybody presents a business case.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah. And if people need further help, I think I'm available to you guys to help you sort of make them look better, the concept notes and things like that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that for you guys. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So I don't think I can say enough thank yous, by the way. So let me just say one. Thank you, Eunice. We really appreciate all you've done for us. Yeah.
Karibuni.
Sylvia.
You win, I win. We all win.
I believe Faith has raised her hand. She wants to say something.
Oh, please do, dear.
Oh, I've really raised this hand for long. Thank you.
Sorry.
So I will speak for myself and the Agape. Both of us are classmates in the School of Medicine. We are in our 5th year currently. And we were thinking about something now beside the HALT prize. At the hospital, we'd see mothers weaning children into either obesity or malnutrition. You'll find that after mama amemaliza kunyonyesha the 6 months exclusive, they're not really sure how to take off from the 6 months when they're weaning off the child. So you'd find so many cases of malnutrition. And sometimes it's not because they cannot afford it, but it is sometimes a lack of information or something of the sort. Yes. So we've been thinking that maybe if we can engage you further on this matter, maybe we come up with a value added substance, for instance, say a meal, some kind of porridge that mothers can be given after 6 months. They're given to help the children keep up, with age and weight and stuff like that. I really don't know if that is possible.
That's very possible. I would love that. And I think I love that you guys are in medicine. The other thing that I saw, we're actually supposed to be hosting a delegation from Nigeria for this particular project.
Wow.
And not for that one, but for something that's called Artemisia attenua. It's a plant that has chloroquine. Is it? Please forgive me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better.
Kusema wewe ndio daktari. That one, yes, that one. So, I mean, it has, and it's solving a lot of COVID-19 cases, issues, and they're coming to learn from us. So I think you guys in medical field, I mean, you're at a very advantaged place to come up with natural medicine, natural food solutions that can, also like medicine to the body. Say food is medicine. Yeah. So yeah, but also what you've just talked about, I am happy for us to think through that. I know JKUAT had started a project like that one. We have a whole, what is it called, processing unit that we had started doing that. But yes,
Wow.
let's engage. Let's see what innovative solution you can come up with from that. But good thinking already. Yeah, you've done very good groundwork. So let's keep in communication.
Okay, sawa sawa. So I believe we have come to the end of the session. Very awesome session. You know what? I won't even say it again. You know it's a very awesome session. So yeah, we've come to the end of the session and we say thank you. We say thank you to all you guys also who've come out.
Thank you.
Yeah, 2.5 hours is some time, and so we say thank you for that. Yeah. I will share the email and I will create a group that we will be able to be communicating with you as well, Eunice. So yeah.
Sawa. Cheers, guys. Wacha niwaache. I don't know whether you guys have housekeeping to do.
Actually, Josephine has raised her hand.
Oh, Josephine, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Josephine. Or it's by mistake. Maybe.
Josephine, go ahead.
Okay.
So no problem. I've heard you. I am in agreement with you. Tembe pamoja.
Absolutely. Sawa. Okay. So yeah, we can end this. Okay. Guys, you can leave at your own discretion.
No. Before people leave, Ebu, close for us. Josephine, pray for us.
Oh, yes. Josephine, you can.
Hey, a gentleman in this time.
Simeon, can you close for us?
Lord.
Just go ahead, Josephine.
Okay.
Okay, let's pray. Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, I want to thank you so much for this time, oh God, and to thank you for May you God bless, and also remember us also in our projects, which is victory. As we depart, oh God, and I pray this, trusting.
In Jesus'
Amen.
name,
In Jesus' name, we
amen.
do pray and believe.
Amen.
Amen.
And thank you. Bye, guys. Take
Amen.
care.
Bye.
Amen.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Stay
Thank you.
safe. Okay.
You
Bye.
too. Blessings.
Bye bye.